This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glynn Lavender.
Hi and welcome to episode 578 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from shuttersincpodcast.com. I think that's the website. Joining me once again from Melbourne, Victoria, from creativephotoworkshops.com.au, it is Mr. Glynn Lavender. How are you?
You know, I reckon if we get up to 600 episodes, you might actually start to nail that entrance, that entry, that start, that beginning.
Just about.
Yeah. Shush. I'm good, my friend, and yourself? It seems like days since we've seen each other.
It has been days since we've seen each other. It was so good to catch up.
What the hell happened?
I know. It was so good to catch up.
We actually caught up in real life.
In
actual
real life.
Humans, like the first time in, it must have been, like 15 years? 10 years?
It'd have to be close on 10. I think the last time you and I were together was the day you and I went and had the photo shoot with Sarah out at Footscray.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that. That must be at least a decade ago.
I reckon it'd have to be. It'd have to be, yeah.
And you know what, I fondly look back now at the photos that we captured of our meeting after 10 years, and I look at those and I know I'll have those for the rest of my life to remember, and that special moment where we caught up for the first time in a decade. And I love that shot that we're going to use for the new cover of our podcast, Roots. I think I think it's captured our essence. Right. You know, I really think it brings home the seriousness of myself and the frivolity of you. Yeah, I think it speaks volumes. You know, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, that's worth about none because we didn't take any.
That's right.
We didn't take a single goddamn selfie.
We got together for breakfast. We chatted. You got your breakfast delivered in 2 courses. I think next time, leave it to me to pick the cafe, okay?
So for those of you listener who wasn't there, because it was just me and Bruce. Bruce ordered bacon and eggs, scrambled eggs, and I ordered bacon and scrambled eggs, and Mrs. Bruce ordered scrambled eggs and mushroom. Now, I'm not a chef. But I do like to dabble, Bruce. You know, I dabble. Yeah. You know, call me stupid, but if I'm a chef and I get 3 orders and 3 of them have scrambled eggs, 2 have got bacon and 1's got mushroom, I'm doing a big bloody container of scrambled eggs. You know? I'm doing a container of 2 lots of bacon.
Yep. And
I'm putting some mushies on a little bit later so I don't overcook them.
Yep.
Yeah. You know? No. Bruce gets his bacon and eggs. About 5 minutes later, the lovely Mrs. Bruce gets her scrambled eggs and mushrooms. And about 5 minutes later again, I get eggs. And I say, excuse me, I ordered bacon. And they said, oh, that's coming. We just didn't want you to wait any longer. And then about 3 minutes later, the bacon arrived to go with my bacon and eggs.
By which time he'd finished his eggs.
And which time 15 minutes had gone by since you got yours.
Yeah, and I was pretty much finished.
Thinking, is this a one fry pan operation? Have they got 1 burner, 1 fry pan, and, you know, no cross-contamination risks at least because they only got cooking one thing at a time? Yeah. I've never seen anything like it, Bruce.
I have never experienced that ever anywhere on the planet. To have your breakfast delivered as 2 separate things,
and so much later than the rest of the meal when everyone else was getting. It's like we had exactly the same thing, and they came 10 minutes apart.
I know.
Well, 10 and 12.
That's right.
to get it correct.
Dear, oh dear.
But we caught up because you were on your way back from a fabulous trip there to Tasmania.
That's right.
Tasmania.
Which my wife had never been to. I lived down there for a little minute in 1991 and then again for 8 months in 95, 96. So I'd seen a bit of Tassie, but not all of it. But Kath had obviously not seen any of it. And
I mean, here's the thing, though. You're a fairly large kind of guy. You're fairly tall, and your missus is kind of she's less. Let's call her less tall.
Yes.
Let's call her half as tall as you.
Yeah.
You know, Tasmania's a big country for her to visit. You know, it's about 8 times the size of the country you're visiting. You know,
That's right.
you're visiting. It's a big place for her. You know.
Yeah.
She could nestle in a wombat pouch. I reckon.
That's right.
She'd just slip right on in there. Yeah. You know, it's like if you're out in the wild and you're I don't know, you're in the middle of freezing winter and you're stuck out there and you've got to and you find a dead cow.
Yeah.
You might be able to burrow and get inside. She could go for like a possum.
Yeah.
She wouldn't need to find some random very large roadkill. She's got a much wider choice.
Yes, she does.
Of roadkill. Yeah, so she's quite lucky that way. You know.
She is.
So, but and what was your overall take on the trip? It wasn't really a photographic trip. It was more a family vacay and with some snappy snaps in between.
Mate, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The part of Tasmania that I had not seen before was the whole of the west coast down through the Tarkine region and into Strawn, and then we did the 6-hour boat ride through Macquarie Harbour and up the Gordon River to Heritage Landing, which was just gorgeous, pristine, million-year-old, cool temperate rainforest that, is just untouched by humanity, with the exception of the boardwalk that they built through it for you to walk on, But that was really good, and then, the rest of Tassie I had seen in various parts over the course of my life. But like I said, it was all new to Kath. We went to Port Arthur on Father's Day, and I'd been to Port Arthur twice before, but not since the massacre. And this was the first time where I actually got to see all of what is there. Bizarrely, the first 2 times that I went, I saw pretty much the same collection of buildings on each occasion and missed the same bit on the second trip that I'd missed on the first trip. And so this time,
it takes planning. That takes quite a lot of planning.
Yeah. So we were there for 6 hours this time around and caught all of it. And of course, there's now the gutted shell of the Broad Arrow Cafe, which is where the massacre took place.
So for those listeners who have no idea what you're talking about,
in 1996, a rather deranged individual by the name of Martin Bryant went on a shooting spree, which I think to this day still holds the record as the highest head count by a single lone gunman anywhere in the world. He shot and killed 36 people.
I think it got outdone in Vegas a few years ago.
Oh, did it?
If it's going to happen anyway, it's going to happen. I think it was 53 or something for that concert. But it's certainly in the annals of Australian crime, it's leaps and bounds
the worst we've ever had. And off the back of that, our then Prime Minister, John Howard, instigated a massive gun buyback and an amnesty. So, if you had firearms that you weren't supposed to have, you could hand them in without any recriminations. And it basically got rid of a lot of weapons, in the general population. And as a result, we have not had a mass shooting since. We've had a couple of...
It's really nice that the government took the guns out of the hands of the mentally unstable but allowed all the criminal gangs to have them kill each other, because that happens on an almost weekly basis, at least. The Sydney crime gangs... it used to be, it's like everything Sydney does, they're just copying Melbourne. Melbourne used to be the home of gangland killings.
Yeah.
And, Sydney's certainly taken over that mantle of late, bikie gangs and Middle Eastern gangs and, Coolandah gangs, all those kind of things. They're all, they're
all as bad as each other.
down here in Melbourne now, we've moved on to machetes.
Right.
Because it's, so much more in-your-face, personal kind of way of killing your 12 and 14-year-old enemies.
Yeah,
which is what happens on a... that happens just up the road. One of those happened up the road for me a couple of days ago or weeks ago, and that was the 4th young teenager they've buried this year from machete killings.
Yeah, right.
It's so we've skipped past the organised crime gang and gone to teenagers.
Yeah.
So soon, babes with bombs or something. It's going to be like little kids, little tiny babies in prams. Yeah, will be the next enemy. You have
flicking
to watch
grenades out of the pram as they go by.
Yes,
Drive-by grenading.
Anyway,
we had a great trip around Tassie. We spent 3 days staying with an old radio mate of mine who has done very well for himself. Him and his wife live a life of luxury now, and we spent 3 nights staying at their place. It was just a fantastic trip. We really did. We had a great trip. Absolutely packed in way too much, as we always tend to do on our holidays. We got off the return Spirit of Tasmania trip in Geelong on the Friday morning, caught up with you for brekkie, and then had to drive to Moruya, which is about 850 kilometres, so it's a decent hike.
550 miles for
something
for
like
our
that.
US listener.
Yep. And as we had told you at breakfast, the plan was we were going to drive around up the coast road.
You did.
And so when we got back into the car after breakfast, I've pulled up Google Maps on my phone and I've gone, we want to go to Moruya, and it's shown me I can go one of 2 routes. I can go round the coast road, or I can go up the Hume, north of Canberra, and then back down through Braidwood and back down to the coast that way.
Gosh.
And that these 2 routes would only be around about 5 minutes difference in actual driving time.
Wow.
And so I basically selected the coast road because that was the way that Kath wanted to go, because she'd not done that part of the coastline.
Yeah. And would you rather a freeway or a lovely coast?
Yeah. And so we're driving through Melbourne, and Google Maps keeps on throwing up these things saying alternate route 15 minutes longer, alternate route 30 minutes longer, alternate route.
I should have mentioned there's the odd occasional bit of roadworks going on in old Melbourne town at the moment.
And anyway, we get to the point where Google says, turn left, take the Hume Highway exit, because the alternate route is an hour longer than going via the Hume.
Well, it's only an hour.
Well, yeah, but we were looking at an 8-hour drive as it was, and I was thinking, do I really want to make it 9 hours? So we ended up going the Hume, which Kath wasn't very happy about.
No.
But it still ended up being, a fairly lengthy day. But, we got to her girlfriend's place at Moruya, spent the night with them, had a great time. And then on the Saturday, drove from there up to Sydney, out into the Blue Mountains to pick up the dog, who was staying with Kath's younger brother and his wife. And then on to home. So by the time we got to home, it was like, we're absolutely cooked, had enough of driving, don't want to see the car anymore. Thankfully, we've got Sunday to just sleep in and not have to do anything strenuous.
Man.
So
yeah. I love a good road trip.
Mate, so do I.
I could drive 10 hours a day every day. No problem
I
at all.
used to be able to do that. I struggle with it now.
You're getting old, mate.
I am. Yeah. I am, but I'm younger than you. And I always will
that's
be.
Sad, isn't it? Yeah. No, not necessarily. Because if you live longer than me,
okay, fair enough.
At some point, there's a good chance you'll overtake.
Right.
And then I'll be pointing up from down there saying, "See, told you."
Yeah.
Can I just talk about school shootings for a second longer? Yeah,
let's bring the tone down a bit. Yeah, sure.
Well, we haven't raised it to any level, so there's no damage. No, I just found out this week. I've known for a long time about a particular friend of mine was in Columbine on the day, high school on the day Columbine happened.
Right.
He's actually one of the Tamron reps in the US.
Wow!
But it just turns out, this week there was a shooting in a place called Evergreen High School.
Okay.
In the US. And he went to that high school too.
Oh, what?
But obviously years earlier. Yeah. And then he says, and both of his kids have been to schools with school shootings.
Jeez.
So there's 3 of them have been involved in places that have had 4 school shootings. And I said, in my 60 plus years and living here in Australia and a little bit overseas, but living over here, I never even entered my mind that could be a danger for myself or my kids.
No. No.
Yeah, so that's one of those things. The gun amnesty seemed to have had some impact on maybe. Because, but mind you, the rest of the world doesn't do it either. So, guns or no guns.
No, it seems to be limited to one country.
It is a particular habit.
Particular fetish of the American.
Particular habit, yeah. Particular way of getting notoriety, I guess. But yeah, it's just amazing that one little family of three could be
that's
associated
rough.
with 4 different ones. Yeah,
That is really
astounding, Anyway, how'd you go photo-wise in Tasmania?
Photo-wise, I'm really happy with what I came home with. There were some nice memories. We've got a lot of selfies of both Kath and I.
And that's nice because you don't get much of those sort of stuff, do you?
No.
If you're like me and my wife, we don't get many of those photos.
Exactly. And I really made a point this trip of trying to do more, of just her and I, in the frame, on holidays, having fun.
She should have stood up in some of the photos, though, mate.
Oh dear, yeah. So, there is one where she's standing on a rock on the beach so that she's actually taller than me, and one of her friends on Facebook said, that'd be the first time you've seen the top of your husband's head.
I'm not going to touch that one.
But no, it was good. And Kath bought me a photography jacket. Actually, I don't know if it was designed for photography or if it was designed for fishermen. Probably see it in some of the photos.
Yes.
And it's just one of those jackets that's got hundreds of pockets on it. And I really made good use of it on this particular trip.
It's a nice looking fashion accessory too.
I know it's not a fashionable looking thing, but it is so utilitarian. I love it.
Yeah.
Because as I get older, I am enjoying less and less going on, an hour-long bushwalk to a waterfall or whatever it might be, and having to lug a backpack with 12 kilos of camera gear in it.
Yeah.
And so what I was able to do on this trip was take everything that I wanted to take. This was the beauty of having, a road trip, where we had our own vehicle, so I could load the car up with camera gear. But when we got to a stop, I go, well, okay, I'm going to be doing XYZ type of photography in the next half an hour. What's the minimum stuff that I need out of all of this gear that I've got? And I could just load up the jacket with just the bits that I needed for that type of shoot. So I was like, okay, I'll go with my wide, but I'll take my 28-75 just in case, and I'll take my filters because it's going to be waterfall, so I might want to do some long shutter speed stuff, and I'll carry the tripod in my hand, and that's basically it, and that's all I need, But if we were somewhere else, it was like, I think I'll throw on the 150 to 500 for this bit, because we're out shooting wombats, photographically shooting wombats.
Clarified.
So it was good having all the gear with me, but not having to carry all of it all the time, So that jacket, as stylish as it may be, was very handy to have. So.
They're kind of handy if you're ever travelling by a plane and you have a very heavy carry-on.
Oh,
you can divest yourself a lot of gear into your pockets.
Yeah, right. And just walk on with it.
Yeah, then when you're on the plane, you put it all back into your pockets.
Oh, that's gold. I'd never thought of that.
It's a good trick, And I always say to anyone, if you ever have problems, just take your biggest camera out and put it around your neck and carry it onto the plane with the heaviest lens. Yeah, it's just a cool thing. You just pop it all on there and away you go.
So it was good. I really enjoyed it. Shot a lot of landscape stuff. Shot a bunch of multi-image panos with the Nodal Ninja pano head that I've yet to stitch together, but I'll get to that in the coming weeks. Yeah. It was good to be shooting on a daily basis again.
That's it. I mean, you kind of start getting into a rhythm, don't you?
Yeah, totally.
You certainly get out of if you haven't shot for a while.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm just editing one of your photos as we speak.
This will be gold.
as I do.
What was wrong with it?
Nothing. I just made it look good, as opposed to what you had.
Since 2005, Shutters Inc. has been a labour of love. But beyond the time required to produce it, there is also a financial commitment. If you find value in the podcast and would like to help keep the service running, hit up the Patreon link, which is in the show notes. Even a couple of dollars a month will help. Much appreciated. Now, back to the podcast.
Yeah, I went to share screen with... Oh, there's dust on you. Oh, you shoot Sony, of course. No wonder. Look at all the dust in your photo. I was looking at one of your waterfall shots.
Yeah.
And I edited it, and my edit put up 1, 2, 3, 4 specks of dust in the white water.
Okay.
And it turns out, so I've been doing some research on camera gear still since that last episode, because I'm kind of off Nikon.
Right.
Well, off the Nikon ZF, the one I was looking at,
Okay.
or Nikon.
So what turned you off it? Because you were pretty keen on it last we spoke.
And I love 90% of it.
Right.
But the thing I hate the most, and I can't see myself coming to terms with, and it surprised me that it would be a thing that I'd be worried about, is that I like the screen.
Right. Okay.
It flips out to the side of the camera, so you're not on axis with your viewfinder. You can't use it as so. And I've been looking around, and of course, this is a fairly common problem. You have problems.
This is one of those where you don't see the screen on the back of the camera because it's actually folded in. You've got to open.
No,
it up.
You can flip it around and have it that way, but
right.
that is limiting to, obviously, if it's flat to the body.
Yep.
And you're trying to shoot over your head or shoot from down low.
Yep.
That is, I have that situation already with a camera with a non-moving screen. But when you flip out, if you want to do an angle to shoot from above or shoot from below,
Yep.
you're now longer not on axis with the lens.
Yeah.
So you're adjusting, but not adjusting as intuitively or as fast as you would do.
Right.
If it was actually in axis, where you're pointing. You're looking where it's pointing, basically, as opposed to looking to the left and it's pointing to the right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm quite sure with a ton of use, you'd get familiar.
Adapt.
You'd get accustomed to it. But if you have a choice to try anything, why go, oh, that's a big compromise I have to make. What else is there out there? So it's not completely ruled out, but it's like, well, what other options are there? So I started doing a search for screens. What cameras have a screen that gives me the most options?
Right.
And there's only one camera in the world that does what I want.
Okay.
And it's really bizarre. So you have choices of cameras that have the flip out, the pull out in axis screen. So you're looking down like a waist level view.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it can flip down so you can hold it above your head and look up and see it.
Yeah.
So it's still, that's on axis with your viewfinder in both of them.
Yeah.
All the other ones, there's a bunch that have that, and all the other ones have the pull out to the side screen, which is all off axis, which kind of does your head in a little bit. Now, the problem with the ones that are used like waist level viewfinders is if you're doing a vertical shot down low, you can't see the screen because it flips left or down. But
I see what you're saying.
It's not bending up for you to see. So when you're shooting vertical, you're guessing again. Yeah. Whereas the Sony A7R-V or 5 has a screen that does both.
Right.
It flips out like a waist level viewfinder. It folds down so you can hold it above your head. Yep. But it also folds out like the Nikons and everyone else's does and can flip on any other angle. So you can use it on any possible angle.
Yeah, right.
That's the only camera that I've found that has this screen with that much flexibility.
Wow.
Now, you're paying $5,000 for a body for that joy. But if you're looking for something like that, I don't want to have to compromise.
Yep.
There's no compromise with the visible way of being able to use that camera. Yep. It's given you every possible option.
Yeah, right.
And that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I haven't tried one. I haven't put one in the hand. And I'm not a big fan of the Sony cameras. As I said previously, there's not a lot of soul to them. They're great functional cameras. And when I shot in India last time, I had, as per your photo I've just been talking about, I had a lot of dust issues in the photo, which I've never had with my Canons that are much older technology. I never have dust in my photos at all.
So weird.
And I don't use lens caps. I don't use rear caps. I don't use body caps. I change cameras with the power turned on in Holy with powder flying around everywhere. Don't have a problem. Sony, you look at it, you get dust on your sensor. And it's a known problem. And you look on the line, Sony...
It's so random.
It's Sony. But I think the newer Sony have got to the point where they've realised it's a major problem with their cameras. And they've now got, when you turn the camera off, a shutter goes down over the sensor to try and stop, at least minimise some of that dust getting in. So when you do turn your camera off to change lenses, it's not an exposed sensor and all that sort of stuff. So this A7R5 has that as well, which may improve. And I know it's not as big an issue as it used to be. I remember in the olden days, you'd have to sit there and clone out every single speck of dust in your photos, especially when I'm shooting a 15 mil f/22 pointed straight at the sky.
Oh.
You know, if you're ever going to see dust, that's when you're going to see it. Yeah.
Yep.
So you're there cloning for forever. Now you do one button AI dust remover and it does 90% of the work for you at least.
Yeah.
So it's not as big, but it's kind of just a pain to look at. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just takes some of the gloss off it for me to see that.
Yeah,
you know? Right. It turns the photo from being a joyful moment to look at this shot that you've captured to just being distracted by noise and dirt and crap.
Yeah, right.
You know, it takes some, and that's just the way my brain works. I see the flaw in every photo in 0.2 of a second. You know, because that's how I train myself to shoot, is to see what I've done wrong, and to shoot again and fix it. You know, it's kind of the way I shoot. But it also means at the end result, when I look and all I can see is dust, that's all my brain can see. It doesn't look at, look how good everything else is. It's the cheese, look at all that dust. It takes me a while to get to the point where I can start to look at the photo for the photo rather than for the problems.
Yeah, right.
One of them funny little things.
Okay.
And but I don't know why people say OCD. I don't understand what that terminology means. But yeah, so that's interesting. So anyway, your lovely waterfall shot that I fixed up. Now I need to go back to the software and get rid of dust. Remove dust spots. So my software can remove dust spots or power lines.
Right.
And it does a pretty darn good job of dust spots. It does a crap job of power lines. It really does.
Power lines can be tricky.
Got rid of all those dust spots gone in one click, which is pretty good, isn't it?
Right.
But I'm happy there. Now, all I did, just your waterfall, I just gave it a bit of zest, a bit of pizzazz, a bit of...
It didn't need it, but anyway, yeah.
Oh, dear, no. So what was your favourite location in Tassie? Was there a particular spot that...
Ooh,
If you were going to go back to Tassie, is there one spot, I got to go back there?
I think if I was going to go back, I'd probably just want to see other spots that I haven't been to.
Yeah,
rather than revisit spots I have seen. I don't think I came away from any one location going, I wish I'd shot differently while I was there because I didn't get the shot that I wanted. You know, I think I got what I was after. So if anything, I'd probably, find other spots to go to that I didn't get to.
If anyone's ever considering going down to Tasmania, and we should get this guy on the podcast one day, you should look up my mate Cam Blake, who runs Tasmanian photo work, Tassie photo workshops, or Tassie, or so I don't know what it's called. At the very least, just look at some of his shots, because some of the locations he gets into is that place is actually stunning.
You have reminded me. If there's one thing I wish I'd had more time for, would have been to do more walking at Dove Lake.
Oh,
at Cradle Mountain. Sadly, I got as far as the edge of the lake, set up and got the classic, shot that everybody gets, which is Dove Lake, the boathouse on the right, and Cradle Mountain off in the distance. And, and I didn't really get much further than that. So I wish I'd had time to go and do a 2 or 3 hour hike.
Do the full circular walk.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been awesome. But anyway.
But, that's... I don't know. That's the problem. There's so many places to see and do, and you can only fit so much in. And if you commit to 3 more hours going around there, there's 3 hours less you have for somewhere else.
Exactly. Exactly.
I always find holidays are like when you go to like an ice cream shop and you can taste test different flavors to see what you like the most. I always find holidays kind of feel a bit like that.
Right.
You're just taste testing different locations because you kind of zip it around everywhere.
I said to Kath, I said, I wish that we were, financially free enough that when we retire, we could just go and live in one country for a year at a time.
Yeah.
Like stay there for a whole year.
Sample all the flavours.
Yeah, stay for a whole year and sample everything, that you could.
Everything that you wanted to,
Yeah. Over the course of a year, and then move to another country. I reckon that would just be the best way to retire.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
But, it requires funds to do that.
I'm doing something similar with my retirements.
Right.
I'm choosing an alleyway in Melbourne in which to live in. and then when I get kicked out of that alley, I'll go find another alley to live in. You know, it's a similar concept.
Of course.
Yeah. I just edited another one of your photo. I'm going crazy here.
Of course.
Just beat the living crap out of it. Now it looks like nothing like you shot. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Yeah.
So what have you been up to in the last
I've actually
4 or 5 weeks?
Busy.
Yeah.
Has it been that long again? My goodness.
Well, I was away for 2 and I've been back here for a week, so...
Had I run my flash workshop last time we talked, or was I...
No, I don't think so.
So I ran my first flash workshop in 5 years, and...
Right.
Yeah, petrified that all I'd have to deal with all day long was cameras that won't fire flash cards. You know? And it's like... And one guy was an Olympus user, and I always have trouble with Olympus, and so I was and nothing went... I should touch wood because I've got another flash workshop this Saturday, but not one camera had a problem firing.
Oh, fantastic!
Which is that threw me. Yeah, that put me right off my game. I was expecting problems.
Yeah,
but except for one weird thing, one very bizarre thing. I had a Nikon trigger.
Yeah,
and I was testing it the day before the workshop, all working fine.
Yeah,
get to the workshop, it's not working. It won't. That's bizarre. But there was only one other person coming to the workshop who had Nikon.
Right.
And he had his own trigger. He said, "Can I bring my own trigger?"
Oh, okay.
I said, "Yeah, of course you can." So he brought his own trigger.
Yep.
And it was working the day before, but it wasn't working at the workshop.
What?
I know. It's like, what the hell? It was a very bizarre experience that could happen to two. And I haven't actually checked. I should double check. Mind you, the type of flash shooting I teach, you actually don't need it to be brand specific, the trigger anyway, so you can use any brand of trigger with the exception of Sony because they've got that weird little extra bit on the shoe.
Right.
So it wasn't a problem. I could get them to fire, but it was just a strange anomaly. Yeah, I have to say. But it was kind of fun to be back using flash. I've actually got a 1-on-1 flash workshop tomorrow.
Right.
Down in sunny Geelong, or 2-on-1 actually, 2 lay days. Yeah. Strangely enough, one lay day has just been exhibiting at the Ballarat International Photo Biennale exhibition. And she's a remarkable photographer, which I've shot her many times over the years. But I'm going, well, I don't think I've got anything else I can say to you. Look, looking at your work, I can't do half of what you're doing.
Right.
So
wow.
So this is going to be fun. There's nowhere to hide in a 1-on-1.
No.
Yeah, because they're right in front of you. Well, there's 2-on-1. I could always talk to the other lady. She's not as experienced. But so it's going to be fun. But maybe
that's an opportunity to open up a really interesting conversation about what she does that you... When you look at her photos and you're thinking, how the hell has she done that? Yeah, maybe,
Bruce. Yeah. I'm male. My ego would not allow me
to be tutored by a woman.
No, to anybody, frankly, to any photographer. It's like, no, not listening. Put my finger in my ears and make no noises. No, Margaret's lovely. She's a very, very talented photographer, but just interesting to see. Well, I wonder what she's going to get out of it. But it'll warm me up for Saturday's workshop at the very least. So, and I need to get some new. I've got some shots I need to take.
Oh, okay.
For lessons, and there's no time on workshops, and I haven't had time to organise a model and shoot a day just to get those shots. So maybe the lessons I can teach tomorrow just happen to be the shots I need for the presentation by sheer circumstance. Yeah.
So you've got a model to shoot tomorrow?
Yes. A redheaded. I've got a green dress and a redhead, so it's already halfway there, Bruce.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, half the job's done.
That's it.
And once I've been doing, I've been busily writing my new talk. I had to come up with a whole new concept talk for the Bright Festival of Photography, and I used that as a reason to build a new talk that I use for the following year.
Right.
So I've frantically been trying to come up with anything that makes any form of sense. That sounds somewhat like I know what I'm talking about on stage, and that I have some clue and some decent advice to hand out. So the talk is called Infinite Monkey Theorem. And it starts off with, you may know me from such talks as, my photos are and I don't know why I bother, and dog car window, which is the last 2 years' talk. So that's infinite monkey theorem is going to fit in quite nicely with that lineup of previous talks.
Right. Are you going to share with us the thinking behind the name?
The old adage of you put an infinite amount of monkeys in a room with infinite amount of typewriters with infinite amount of time, and they'll write out the full works of Shakespeare.
Yeah. Right.
Or I've got my guy called Shakes Ape here, because he's a monkey guy who's typing out Shakespeare, Shakes Ape here. Or putting the analogy into photography terms, you shoot enough shots, one's got to be good. It's the same thing. If you had infinite amount of time to take photos, eventually you're going to take a world-class winner, right?
Yeah.
By sheer luck of time, if nothing else,
yeah.
You're going to get that job done.
Yeah.
It's a pretty short talk too. I've only got like 200 odd pages, which is pretty short for me.
So it's about 3 minutes.
So with enough time and opportunity, even extremely unlikely events become almost sure to happen, demonstrating the power of probability and the randomness in generating complex patterns from random inputs. That's the actual theory of infinite monkey theorem. Of course, these days you just get good AI to do it, Chat GPT to do it, or something. But the problem is you can't say write, because if Shakespeare had never existed, you can't just say write Shakespeare type play, because they wouldn't know what that is.
No.
But so that's my talk, and I think it doesn't even look that long. Oh no, it's 233 pages. That's so far. So
about
we're getting along.
Okay.
Yeah. I was on a podcast recently as well.
That's right. Traitor.
The video
Deserter.
For now. Can you remind me? I've been on two, I think, recently.
It was a video podcast you were shooting somewhere.
Oh, so that's right. So I was on the Down South Photo Show
3
a couple of weeks ago. Down South Photo Show, because they were desperate and they called 3 people and they couldn't make it, so they called me. We had a lovely hour and 10 chat, and if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend missing it. Just see the other episodes. Then Tamron Australia invited me over to they're doing a promotion at the moment called Get the Shot.
Right.
Which highly inappropriate after COVID. They're doing a promotion. They're talking about some of my photos and talking about them. And so I submitted a bunch of photos, did some voiceovers, I did some words, and assumed that was all they wanted. But they said, can you come in and we're going to do a video interview? I said, oh, God, I'm not even charging for this, Bruce. I was, what the hell? So I got there and I thought it was just going to be talking about the photos, but it was just a random general chat, and it was quite good.
Okay.
It was almost as much waffle as what we do.
Right.
So I'm not sure when that's going to come out, but at some point that'll come out, and we can promote that too. So I've been on podcasts all over the place, mate.
Yeah, right.
Except ours. And I shouldn't say anything, but I will. I started writing a book.
Oh.
On a book. I don't say ooh like you'd never heard. I talked about something the other day at the coffee shop. In between your breakfast arriving and my breakfast arriving. That hour.
In that half-hour break,
Yeah, so I've started writing a travel portrait photography book.
Yep.
Portraits of Strangers Met is the current working title.
Okay.
Which sounds like the pretentious wank that there seems to be so far. So, A Guide to Travel Portraits by Glynn and the opening page is for my mother, who dragged me into my first camera store. So I don't think she would have thought all the way back 40-odd years ago that this useless piece of scum of a teenage son she had, who was good for nothing but had a mouth on him. So she got me into sales because that might shut him up for a bit. Who she might have thought 40 years later, and well after she's dead, I'd write my first ever book, and dedicate it to her of all people,
And so this is a repurposing of some of your Camera Club talks?
Oh, I forgot to mention that. The theory is... It came to me, I remember now, it came to me that I have all these 1 hour long, 300-page presentations where theoretically, Bruce, I cover some good information. Theoretically. So I figured maybe I could bring some of that into a written form and add more to it, hopefully, and make it into a book.
Are you writing little essays about some of the photos? Like about...
No.
No? Okay.
No, but it's not out of the realm of possibility if I can't fill up the pages enough.
Fair enough.
So if I'm desperate and I need a bit of filling, don't be surprised if half the book's just photos. So it'd be Portraits of Strangers Met / Gallery of Glynn's photos.
I just think a lot of people would be interested in a little of the backstory about, where you were and why you shot what you shot, and if you spoke with the person involved and, what was their story. I think there'd be a lot of interest in that.
Oh, okay. I'll put that as another chapter.
That'd be the epilogue.
I've written 8 chapters so far.
Okay.
And the chapters are why photograph. It was introduction. You could call that a chapter, couldn't you?
Cool. Kind of. Yeah.
Chapter 1, why photograph people.
Yeah.
Chapter 2, approaching strangers.
Yeah.
Finding your way to the shot.
Yeah.
What is a portrait?
Uh-huh.
A brief discussion on lenses.
Uh-huh.
I'm an available light shooter.
Uh-huh.
Filling the canvas and taming the inner critic is so far what we've got. And I'm going to put down here the stories behind the shots. There we are. That'll fill up a few pages.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, stories behind the shots. I'll do that. I'll do some.
Yeah.
I reckon. It'll
Fair
be,
enough.
and
it doesn't have to be epic. Like, it could just be 50 odd words or 100 words, but like, it doesn't have to be page after page about a particular photo.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. No, it's not something I admit too often, Bruce, but you're right.
I'm aware.
So I'll put that down. The stories behind the shot, I'm just putting into the chapter contents pages. So the story behind the shots, as suggested by Bruce Williams. Oh, yeah. So if everyone hates that segment, not on me. That's Bruce. That's I'll give you his details. Bruce, audio2u.com.au. You can blame him, is what I say.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so we've got a busy couple of weeks coming up. So we've got the 2-in-1 tomorrow, then a flash workshop, then it's Bright Festival of Photography, which is 3 days with about 600 photographers.
Yeah,
and then another flash workshop. So I've got.
Did they suck you into judging again this year at the Bright Festival?
Oh no, there's no judging. I've never judged up there.
Oh, where was it last year? I thought it was Bright that you were judging.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because you went on and on about how much you hated it. Now you were flipping through the photos, and it was like a half a second on each, and it's like, yep, nup.
No, I think I might have been mentioning the time I did it in Queensland, where they had 1,400 photos in 42 categories.
Right. That
I did in 27 minutes. Or something. And how much I hated it. I was doing half a second and nup. We may have got this. No, I don't think there's any sort of actual awards or judging sort of stuff up there. It really is just. If you do live in Australia and haven't been to it, I would recommend checking it out for next year. It does sell out very fast, but there's, I said, at least 550 like-minded souls.
Yeah,
and there's something like 45 workshop instructors, all doing about 4 workshops each over 3 days, or 4 or 5 workshops each.
Yeah.
So there's hundreds of workshops to choose from on all manner of styles of photography.
Yeah, right.
And there's sort of something for everyone. You get to hang out.
So it's the workshops that sell out, right? Not access to looking at the...
No, the event run. No, the event run. So there's a limited amount of tickets. There's a fixed amount of tickets. The way it kind of works is you pay your entry fee, and the entry fee buys you, gives you X amount of dollars worth of credits to go to workshops.
Oh, okay.
So, example, the workshops, you can come to one of my workshops for a fraction of what I would charge.
Right.
Yeah, there's like half, or probably less than half of what I would charge to do the same thing if I was doing it privately. But mind you, they have 20 people where I have 8. So it's kind of a different experience.
Yeah.
But they have limited tickets to the event, because the venue, when they have their functions and stuff, only holds that amount of people anyway.
Right.
But then they have events on at night, like they have a thing called Shenanigans, which is where there's a dress up thing. I've never been to one. I don't socialise. I do my job and I walk away from them. They have games and it sounds worse than it is, I'm sure. But I've never been, because it sounds as bad as it probably is. But everyone seems to love the camaraderie that's built around this thing. But so I'm up there for Tamron Australia, and I sort of hang out at their booth and with their gear and chat to people, and do some workshops and go fly fishing.
Nice.
And tend to do more fly fishing than standing around talking about events. But, you don't get up that end of town. It's about a 4-hour drive from here, so you don't get up that end of the world very often.
Yeah.
All those people who have a little struggle with their photo mojo, it's a pretty darn good place to do. Yeah, you go there, A, to hang out with like-minded people, which will only ever energise you anyway.
Yeah.
But also plenty of events that would push you well out of your comfort zone of what you would normally shoot.
Yep.
And that could maybe invigorate you as well. So,
nice.
Yeah. So it's going to be a busy few weeks, Ed.
Cool.
And I've been frantically trying to remember how Flash works. So here's the thing. It went okay the other week.
Yeah.
But I've got one this Saturday, and I still can't get my head around. My brain's still kind of in a fugue state of trying to remember,
right.
how it all, not even how it works. It's just, I don't know, I have a certain pattern, a certain flow
right.
of how I do things. And you have workshops where you do it and everything just flows with absolute perfection. And it's just, it's not even that every photo goes great, but just the energy and flow is perfect.
Yeah.
And then you have days where you're feeling really good, but nothing's working.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just yeah. I don't know. There's when you're doing a workshop that's technical like a Flash one, there's always that extra stress in your brain that makes it harder to make the thing flow properly. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing 4 guinea pig Flash workshops this side of before the end of the year, just to give them a discounted rate to try and get my photo mojo back to doing them properly.
Yeah, right.
Because 5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Between drinks. So.
And have you had a chance to play with the Nikon trigger again to see if you've got that working?
No, that's just reminded me just when I mentioned it to you before. So I haven't checked what cameras the ladies
in
are
between
using
nano naps tomorrow.
Well, I'm hoping. Well, no, tomorrow I'm doing the work. I'm doing one-on-one.
Sorry, on Friday.
6:30 in the morning. I can leave at 6:30 in the morning, Bruce.
6:30.
6:30 in the morning. You can't leave.
Goodness. You only get up that early for fellow podcasters.
Oh. Actually, no, I get up. My kid, I have to get up. Here's the thing. My kiddo can't wake himself up. Right. So I have to get up. Every day he needs to get up at 6:15. It's this moron who gets up at 6:15 to wake him up. Yeah, stupid thing. But yeah, I should check what cameras they're using tomorrow because it's Nikon.
That would
having
suck.
some fun. Yeah, we're having some fun. But we don't do TTL anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We don't do TTL. We don't do high-speed sync or any of that sort of stuff. So,
yeah.
It's all just fairly simple stuff. So hopefully we get some nice shots tomorrow. And,
excellent.
Some stuff I can use in the workshop.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Well, good to catch up.
Nothing else. No one else has sent anything through.
Look, I've got a heap of other stuff, but I couldn't be bothered. We're 55 minutes in now, so.
Are we? Gee, you waffle.
Oh, of course, yes. It's all me.
I'm glad you admit it. Yeah, it's okay. Now, the first stage, Bruce, is acceptance.
First step to overcoming a problem is to accept you have a problem.
Exactly. Acknowledgement that you have a problem in the first place, Bruce. Yeah.
All right, mate. Will you enjoy your Flash workshops?
I will indeed. I hope.
There's no guarantee they'll be Flash.
Exactly. Boy.
All right, mate. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
No worries. Take care, everyone.
See ya.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.